Morning, Knuckleheads. Just want to do a video for a little while just to kind of get my head off of this dark shit that I've got in it. As some of y'all know, I've been a writer for a Think Tactic news for a while. It's to help teach people how to prepare themselves for disasters. When you're out in the middle of BFE nowhere and you need to survive, what you need to know about surviving, noting or how to say, understanding what sex traffickers are looking for, and human traffickers are looking for, what you need to know and all that stuff, right? So there's many, many, many different things going on in this story. In this newsletters and all this other stuff. And I'm not the only writer for it, so uh, I'm having an issue with one of the stories that was given to me. It was not a good thing. For a little while, one of my medical transports, hey Devo, brother, how you doing, man? One of the medical transport ladies that I was talking with sat and talked with me for a while. Oh, good. Good to see you again, brother. Oh. One thing, like I said, I'm easy to talk to. I listen. I sit there and I care about people, doing what I can to help them out. But she confided in me. Hey, Cedric, how you doing, my friend? Once she found out more about me, about my past endeavors, if you will, she sat there and she started talking to me about her past. Sorry, y'all. I've got, like I said, I'm writing her story. I'm writing what she's been through on this Think Tactical News, and I'll drop the link eventually, but it's not a good site. It's not good to go through. It's not good to face. So my mind got put in a dark place because I'm reliving some of the things I went through as a kid myself. I am not putting any of my experiences in this story whatsoever. because what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the story gets out. On her side. As I'm writing this story, I'm living. Hey, Tito, how you doing, brother? Good seeing you, man. Yeah, I seen parts of it. And that was just funny. I love watching those critters, man. Those are so cool. Right now, I need a bit of cheering up, just kind of get diffused. Like I said, I'm writing a story about a lady that was kidnapped from her family. Yeah, but after feeding the critters, the trolls, you got to give them something for indigestion because those trolls are nasty. But they do taste good with ketchup. But like I said, I'm I'm just having a hard time. This woman changed her name 6 different times, and her phone number. I don't remember how many times she said. She's moved different states. She's always scared. She's always looking behind her. And I know this is not going to be an easy topic, but I'm just getting a little bit off my chest. Then we're going to sit there and I'm going to change it up a little bit. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the panel and then have y'all come on the panel and we'll have fun with it. Yep. As I said, I'm writing a story. And she found out that I am against sex traffickers and all that stuff. And she confided in me a lot. A lot. Mind you, I'm a guardian. Hearing this pissed me off real bad. It sent me over the PTSD several times over. But I had to be strong for her. She needed someone to listen, someone who was going to be there for her. So that's what's on my mind. That's what's on my mind today, right now. But you know what? I'll deal with it. I made her a promise to get her story out. I am every gut wrenching thing she told me is in that story. Every ounce of my being of being angry. So I decided to do a live just to get my mind off this BS. To have fun, take a break, to enjoy things. Y'all want to jump on that link? Go ahead. Let me know. Panel is open. Let's have a little bit of fun with this tonight. All right, cool. All right, hold on. Let me try something real quick. All right, like I said, I'm just, it's heartening, to do this, but you know, when you have fun, you live life. But like I said, I'm going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to sit there and have some fun, because like I said, my mind's in a dark place. It took me a while to get the guts to write the story, but I made a promise that I'd do it. Hmm.
How's it going?
Hey, Richard, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, fuck, you know.
How's it going, Richard? How you doing, my
Oh
friend?
shit, I gotta turn that other panel on, or the other window. There we go. Happy New Year, man.
Hanging in there as best I can. Welcome to the channel, man.
Yeah, man. I got a lot of healing to do, man. Holy crap.
What's that?
I said I got a lot of healing to do.
Oh, what's wrong?
Well, I keep fucking relapsing, right? Like I get to a certain point and I always like it's a fucking rough cycle to go through, man. But I'm not fucking stopping. It's my own fucking fault, right? You gotta take responsibility. Can't be like, oh, poor me, you know? Fuck. Yeah, it's fucking.
I've been there
It's a
before
really rough
many
drug.
times.
It's a rough drug to stop.
You know, like I said, I've been there before. It's not pretty.
Yeah, you can relate. Not too many people can, unless they've been through it. Do you smoke? You still smoke your herb, eh? Your cannabis?
Oh yeah, that's the only thing I smoke.
Have you ever mixed it with white sage?
Not on purpose.
No, it's actually really good. It's actually really good. It's like that's what a lot of people do. They'll take like mugworts or other different herbs and they'll like mix the two as like a combination. Or it's definitely one of those things where I think I'm more like at war with myself than I am anything else, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. See, we are our worst enemies. Nothing anyone else can do to you is worse than what we do to ourselves. We sit there and we downgrade ourselves at every little mistake, every minute fuck up that we think is a fuck up. We are harder on ourselves than anyone else could.
Well, I think it's kind of rare to like a rare quality to have in. I don't know. I see a lot of people that don't even want to take accountability at all for anything. It's always like a one-sided bias kind of thing. Like, oh, it's all you, right? Kind of thing. That's the one thing I can't really fucking stand. I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah, hell.
I don't like to fucking point the finger and blame everybody else, like for shit. But sometimes when somebody's fucking with you and shit like that, it's like.
They play the victim card.
Yes, that's the fucking thing. The victim fucking card shit.
They sit there and they say, "Oh well, poor me, pity me, da da da," and they don't hold accountability for themselves screwing themselves up.
Oh, I screwed myself up a lot. Like I had to take accountability and like basically kind of like play catch up and then fucking kind of like. Because my dad said when I was like younger, he's just like, you're gonna fucking dig yourself a fucking hole that you can't climb out of, kind of thing. Like you're drug dealing, doing the drugs, and getting like just basically I lost it. Right, I basically fucking lost my mind. And then fucking when I got back here, I was slowly getting better. But then when the 2020 happened, that's when I just kind of went back into it as an escape. And all for all the wrong reasons too, right? Like I wasn't using it and shit, smoking it, fucking.
That year was kind of screwed up for everybody because we got thrown into one hellacious tailspin, and I've seen a lot of people go back down the dark path, trying to chase that rabbit. It's a familiar thing. They're sitting there going, okay, well, this. And with everything shutting down, depression hit hard. And it does take its toll. It does hit hard. But we all make mistakes. We all fall short, but we never let that stop us. Because every time you fall, you're still looking up. You're still looking up there at that sky, sitting there saying, that's my goal. I've fallen many times. By the time I was 10 years old, I was already classified as a drug addict.
Yeah, I was I started really young too. I mean, it was the alcohol, then the weed, and then it progressed into like the chemicals and shit.
Nope.
And then the rave parties. And then fucking running into the fucking weirdo predator type fucking people and being gullible and not really knowing, not really knowing the streets and shit like that.
Oh yeah,
Being
yeah.
able to fucking discern or
Yep.
recognizing fucking manipulation and stuff like that, and how I was being manipulated. Because I know like a lot of people, they can use emotions, they can use like mind game tactics. Like there's a lot of different ways people can, right?
I know.
Yeah, because I'm more of like a straight up, very blunt and honest, straightforward kind of person. Like I'm not a good liar either. So
neither am I. My face gives away every time. And plus it's like I'm always laughing. It's like
fucking
it is like nah.
Connor's
I'm one of those most brutal, ruthless, blunt, straightforward people out there. I tell people how it is the way it is. And I'm not Willy Wonka, so I don't sugarcoat shit.
Fuck, man. I'm fucking just cranking and fucking wanking fucking the porn and going I'm like turning into a fucking porn scroll fucking retarded fucking addict. It's like it's not going anywhere. Like, oh, work a job. I'm not really qualified to do much, right? Because
yeah,
I didn't get much experience. And right when I was trying to get my life together and turn it around, that's when the fucking COVID fucking hit.
Well, one last thing is that you acknowledge it. You bring yourself to that point of where you screwed up. It's a hard task, but it's something you can work on.
Fuck, this fucking spirit sees everything that fucking goes on. It's like an omnipresence. So because I have weird shit with like Santa Muerte and stuff like that, and because I'm open to other people's culture and like spirituality, and for whatever reason, I watched this video because I was having all these weird like instances and synchronicities, and I watched this video and it says signs that Santa Muerte is trying to contact you, and so apparently, yeah, I was seeing owls. Plus, that's my zodiac sign, like the indigenous, and the skulls, and why I was seeing Grim Reapers and stuff like that when I took all the when I took all the dope and I was like spinning around in circles, all fucked up. And then I had an epiphany the other day too, and I was like, the main reason why that was happening too is because it was at a hospital, right? So that's where a lot of people are checking out. So it was like they were sitting on the porch and they were just sitting there like that, like in black hoods, and it was way too fucking real. It was so real. It was almost like I was seeing over the veil of like I was seeing into the other realm, or like the realm of the dead, or whatever it was.
Oh yeah. That's a little scary for some because when they start seeing that, they start driving themselves crazy.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I'm like, fuck, am I gonna come back from this? Cause like, oh yeah, 2 weeks, like not that much long later, I'm fucking doing it again. I'm like, you'd think after that I would have stopped, right? But no, I'm fucking stubborn, and I'm also, I don't know, I don't know. I guess I kind of like fucking like the thrill of like going through an extreme experience like that, but at the same time, it's not really worth repeating over and over to the point where fuck, like I don't want to fucking be fucking spinning in circles, fucking seeing Grim Reapers, shit like that. Way too intense. I'm like, fuck this, man. I thought I was in purgatory, to be honest with you. The bus would drive by, and I'd see this fucking. It said not in service. And everybody around me seemed like it was almost like I shifted into like the polar opposite of like the negative version of the normal something. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, if the sun comes up, I think I'll be okay. And I fucking got brave enough to fucking make it to Tim Hortons, there, and I thought fucking it was horrible. And I'm like, if people are fucking surveilling you and stuff like that, and they see that you're all fucked up, that's the perfect time to take advantage or try to set you up, right? Because you're at your weakest vulnerable point. And yeah, it would be fun. It'd be kind of fun in a sense, but at the same time, cruel. Oh, let's spy and fucking, fuck with the tweakers, like fuck with their head. And it makes you wonder, like, is it a delusion in my head? Like, how do I decipher what was a delusion in my head and what was the reality? It's like, just get scared. Yeah, Santa Marta was more concerned about. It was weird because I didn't know anything about it, and like, okay, so they're praying to death, and I learned more about it, and it was actually a lot different than what I thought it was. It was more of like a really strict mom, but she's like a sweetheart, but she kind of like made me just face the things that you're scared of, basically. This is interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, I come from a strong Native American background.
Yeah, I'm a mix. I got fucking Mi'kmaq or Micmac, as they usually call it, but it's actually Mi'kmaq or Mi'kmaq.
Yeah. It's hard to find one.
Yeah, there's not very much of us left.
Yeah, I know.
When I was out west, my buddy's like, no, there's only like a handful of you guys left. Fuck. Most of them are mixed too, right?
Yeah, you're about the fourth that I've met.
Yeah, I actually kind of wish I would have met my grandmother. She visited when I was really young, but I was a baby, so I don't remember.
No.
My dad was adopted, and then he was raised in Newfoundland, so. But yeah, out west there's a lot of natives. I miss them. I just get along really well with native people, right? Mainly because of that, and it's just.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandma was mostly the one that raised me. Because I was in and out of foster care as a kid. My grandma was the only person that was able to have me in family-wise.
Yeah, me and my dad, we were pretty indifferent. Like get along for the most part. Like we had a lot of good times, but at the same time, we kind of like it's just very. I don't know. Like I kind of felt like maybe he was a little bit disappointed because I don't think of course they didn't really plan me, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think he kind of like got disappointed because he's like, oh fuck, he's just gonna turn into a drug addict and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, fuck. Because I started working with fucking buddy there. I'm not really gonna say names or anything, but he was teaching me things, and then he showed me the ropes and stuff like that. And then I like kind of started. I was like, "This is fuck. This." Like,
Oh,
yeah, it was just too young, too much going on, too many fucking drugs. Got a taste of like what it's that life is like, and then I was like, no, this isn't for me.
mm,
I had to leave Vancouver, and then when I got back to Ontario, I tried to clean my life up. I went back to school and stuff like that. I had to get my grade 12 and shit like that. But then I was like, fuck, how am I gonna get experience for a job, right?
mm,
I need a job that I at least fucking enjoy and have some sort of a motivation to get up and do it and not repeating the same thing every day and feel like, oh Jesus Christ, I hate this. This is like
no.
kind of like doing drugs, right? doing the same fucking thing over and over.
Mm.
With that, it's
You
like,
ever tried doing the day labor?
what's that? Like the
The day
labor
labor?
things, like you walk in and like you just work that day and get paid kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about doing that, but I don't know. Sometimes when I'm like filling out applications and I'm doing something, there's something inside of me saying, no, this isn't your path. You're supposed to be like your own boss kind of thing. But I don't even know how to go about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well,
So I
you
kind
do.
of a companion or somebody that would be able to, because I'm pretty good in everywhere else. It's just I've always been really bad with money and like budgeting and stuff like that, right? And planning like a routine schedule and pattern, right? And actually sticking to it and following through.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, day labor, they've got different things that you can do and stuff like that. And it's real simple. All you have to do is just go in there early in the morning, sign up. They'll sit there and says, okay, well, what you doing? Da, da, da. And they've got
Like the WMIS and stuff.
a whole barrage of different jobs that they'll take you to and stuff like that. And just sit there and say, okay, well, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I do. Da, da, da. And they'll take you out. You know, you'll sit there and you'll wait. You'll be called up and you'll be out there that day. And you're getting that experience. You know, you're building yourself up. You're building your confidence back up. And you're sitting there, you're setting your goal.
Trying to get fucking clean, right?
Yeah.
If I'm just smoking weed, though, I think that would be the best. If I just had the weed in the evening. Because the alcohol is usually when I get back into the speed, right? Because I get drunk and then I fucking, just a little bit would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, $20, he gives me like a big fucking, like, fuck, you know, because I don't really expect to get much, but I'm like, okay. So this is almost like a temptation, kind of a test type of a thing. It's like, what are you going to do, right? So I don't have any more, which is good. So I'm just puffing on the cannabis, and I got some white sage the other day. Yeah, which was really weird the other night. I was having I was hearing entities talking through like the radios and the TVs, and the one it said, "Why did you open the portal again?" It was, I don't know if that's like delusion in your head or a spiritual thing, because it was almost like there was whatever the heck is attached to it, or the entity or demon or whatever it is. Yeah, it's a demon. I don't know. To me, it seemed like a demon that's, I don't know, at a certain point within your usage, and you, like, I tend to get carried away, and then I overindulge, and then I push it, and then it's like, why the fuck did I do this? It's like, I don't get why the fuck I keep doing this. Because I'm like, oh, well, you got trying to master it. And I'm like, well, fuck, this isn't going to fucking work. it's not gonna work because even if I did moderate it and shit like that, and fucking just do a dose in the morning and stuff like that, in the end, it's just gonna break. It's gonna slowly keep breaking down, no matter how much I try to fucking convince myself that this is good because it feels incredible. You already know.
Yeah.
But then you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, it's just like I definitely don't recommend anybody fucking take that fucking shit. Even though I keep going back and forth with like, the community is like, no, you can't. It was a hard thing for me to accept because I kind of wanted to, I don't know, because I've seen both sides of the coin, the situation. So I'm like, well, because I know certain synthetics, like for me, acid was always great. I've never had, like, I've had bad trips, but it's always, to me, it was a really meaningful experience. Like, it was worth it.
Yep.
And I found out later the people that I was around was a big reason why I was having a bad trip.
Yeah, I love that.
Drinks and the herbs are the real healers and shit like that. The food, and then of course water, right? Oh man.
Yeah, acid was one of my favorite drugs, but is also the first drug that I'd ever experienced as a kid.
Yeah,
Bus drivers sat there. I was about 6 years old. Bus drivers give me acid.
No, you guys had it in like. Did you guys have the sugar cubes or the blotters, or was it just like straight liquid?
Straight
liquid, eh? Yeah, I need to fucking just take a break.
Yeah, didn't know what it was.
I need to stay sober. I don't know what the fuck it is because I feel like I'll never feel that good or something like that. It's almost like I get really bored and then I'm like, well, fuck, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
One guy is like, just wait 15 minutes when you get a craving and watch 15 minutes later, you're gonna feel that craving might go away, and then try to distract yourself with something else.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just gonna keep going back.
Oh yeah. I had a bad trip one night. It was funny though, because I sat there and I got arrested. I was wigged out real bad, so they put me in their little rubber room.
That must have been fucking like
observation room.
That just makes it worse though, because it puts you in like a clinical setting where you feel like you're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was bouncing off the walls. I was literally throwing myself against the wall, sitting there going, "Get me out of these things. These are coming out." Da, 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 da. And I'm sitting there, I'm fighting everything that comes up. Happy New Year, crazy hun. How you doing? I sat there, and, like I said, I was sitting there, I was watching the walls and stuff like that, and I was throwing myself against them, trying to fight everything that's coming out. And I noticed just at the bottom of the window, they had a mirror. I'm sitting there looking at it. There's like real fine, thin white strip at the bottom of it. And that got my attention. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it. It's like, well, what the hell? What
the fuck is that?
I sit there and I'm throwing myself against the walls, but I'm focusing on that light. And I'm sitting there rolling around on the floor. I'm sitting there, I'm just jumping around. And I look, and I pick myself up against the bottom of the window, and I'm looking in, and there was just a little bit of film that was not covering the whole mirror. And I looked in, I'm like this.
like fucking buddy from fucking.
And I was like, I'm tripped out. I'm sitting there. It's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm looking as there's people in the background. I was like, hey, man, I'm going to come out and play. And I was just fucked up beyond belief.
Well, as soon as I came on your stream, I started feeling calmer. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started calming down because you just got a more grounding energy, right?
Well, I have that effect on people. I'm one of those gentle assholes.
Well, fuck. I don't know. For me, I get an explosive temper.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll just I'll say things like the way I feel because I have it all pent up inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're in like a rage, you say shit, but then like a lot of it's fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah, I know that one too well.
At the same time, sometimes I feel like I
yeah,
like people don't understand,
severe PTSD, explosive personality, and violent temper.
I'd much rather listen to something that's like an outlet or just get like freak out and get mad and yell than actually fucking enact the violence or what's going through my head, because I know like that's not going to end well, and it's just fucking it's yeah you want to go to fucking jail or prison over
Oh yeah
over an emotion that was just probably fucking it's like your own. Yeah, it's not good. And of course the crystal meth, it's more like it's like a warlike drug. It really is. It's a war pipe. Like we have peace pipe, and then that shit's like a war, like the war pipe. I'd say chemical warfare pipe.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Ghost. The heart condition that you have, do you think it has something to do with the speed mainly? That's a nice one. Because I know speed's really bad on your heart. That stuff. Oh, it's bad for you. I like that.
Say working peace pipe.
I just broke mine. I broke mine earlier with glass one.
And very sharp.
Yeah.
I never believed in dual weapons before.
No.
And this string is just a temporary deal until I can finish the thing for it. So I got some leather that I'm making into peace pipe, or for the cover.
I should show you the project that I got going on.
There we go. All right. Yeah, I love creativity. I love sitting there building, and when I start going in that dark,
Yeah, because I found it. And I kept finding staffs, and it was almost like somebody left it there for me, the way it was done. And it actually had a marble that was stuck right there. When I found it, so I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I usually get feathers. Like I think those are either raven or crow feathers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go in the woods and I'll forge the feathers.
Yep.
Just start putting the thing together, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of that as well. I got a walking stick that I'm making for a lady right now. That's kind of unusual.
Now let's see.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's the other one I seen the other day when I was watching the channel.
Yeah.
What does it have on it?
Hmm?
Like what does it have on it? Like the
Got a little eyeball on it. Right here. You know, one of those little doll eyeballs?
like the googly eyes,
Yeah.
like the tweaker.
Because it looks like it's a person. You know, you got the
Yeah.
big old,
The one I have, it kind of looks like a freaking giraffe or something like that.
you got the big old honking nose right here. Yeah. That is pretty cool. But I'm going to make like a little hat for it. I should work on this week. I should work on this week for it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, cover her hair more, make it more realistic and stuff like that. And I'm going to make a little leather hat for her, like a medicine man's hat.
Yeah.
And not make it a witch's hat, because it looks like
Well, yeah, that's not really an accurate portrayal. It's like a Hollywood portrayal of like a witch kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, what made me look was it looked like one of those old Muppets.
Muppets, so for fuck's sakes, I fucking thought that. I think about way too much shit in my head, man.
Ew, temperature drive, but oh well. But yeah, this is what I do, and I love creating. When my mind starts getting dark, I'll sit there and I'll start creating. I'll start writing, and I'll start trying to do something other than destroy someone's life. Because I know the damage I could do.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, man. Yeah, I definitely don't underestimate people. That's for sure. It was fuck. You just don't know. Like you don't know who the fucking person is, or just and like I can just tell with people when I meet them because if they can look me in the eyes and stuff like that, then I know I can like. They're at least, because if they're constantly going like this, while they're talking to you, or they'll start talking to you and they're looking to the side, there's usually something to it. It depends. It really depends on the body language of the person.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, holy fuck.
And this has been a draining week for me.
It's my own. I drain myself and shit like that, and then other people around me are like, I don't know. I think some people, they don't really understand. I don't know, like, because I feel like people behave a certain way when they know that I'm high on drugs and shit like that. And I understand like the whole like it making them like feel a certain way, but at the same time, I I don't mean any disrespect towards people, and then I also I'm trying to focus on doing what I'm doing, like I'm minding my business and what I'm doing. And of course, you see me fucking go retarded with the going on people's channels and all that fucking shit. But I'm fucking that's just me way too fucking high and tweaked out and shit, right? You fucking get possessed by like a fucking comedian or something like that. I don't even know. That's like retarded. But some of the shit that I say that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, what the fuck am I saying? But I'm like, fuck, say it. Say it. People look at you, they're like, dude, you're fucking just look like a like, this is disgusting. And I'm like, yeah, well, fuck.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation. I seen the person like you and I are sitting here together. I'm sitting there talking to this dude, and the fun thing is that it wasn't really a dude.
Well, it's weird.
Part over here, down here, and it just looked real nasty.
To me, I think it's a spirit. There's a spirit that, for me, it's weird. It turns into this babbling thing that I can't stop, but at the same time, it feels like it's me, but it's not. It's not me. Like it feels like it mimics, and also like it's like I'm channeling something, and then sometimes I'll just let it. I'll be like the vessel for it to channel through me, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is this? And then there's always like a voice, like a higher self or spirit or whatever you want to call it. That's like, oh, we'll see this. Don't worry, in about an hour. It was like telling me, I'm like, oh my god, like she's like, this is your punishment. This is your punishment. The part of the punishment is you're gonna feel like shit afterwards, and then you're gonna have to fucking start from square one again. But then also you're gonna make yourself look like a fool. But at the same time, it's well, there you go. That's what you get. Now you gotta. Well, I take responsibility prior to even taking the shit, but at the same time, it's like, fuck. I don't know if I should have took this on.
Yep. Yeah, first time I ever experienced that was a kid, and I seriously thought I was going crazy. You know, because like I said, I was talking to someone that was just like you and I are sitting here talking right now, and everybody else is going, who are you talking to? It's like, him. Who? Him.
It looks like HD. Like it looks like no different from what, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you can't really distinguish it. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is way too real for it to be a hallucination. And that's how much of a mind fuck that shit is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I learned a lot though. I did learn a lot. You know, and the craziest that I'd ever seen was when I was a kid. I seen this half man, half eagle. The head of an eagle, arms, but with wings.
Kind of like horse.
And every time I started getting stressed out, he'd start dancing. His wings would just start going out, you know, like this at first.
Oh, dance or something.
He'd just go out and like this, and I'm going, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there, I'm just about ready to run and do whatever to get this out of my head. And every time I was like, dude, what the hell? It would not look at me. It would just sit there and just start bobbing its head, and it just started dancing. It just go up like this. And I'm just sitting there saying, there's no music, dumbass. What the hell you look?
You're powwowing for? Why can't you look at me?
And I say, what the hell? And all of a sudden it just comes right up. I mean, literally right up to me. It sits there, goes, shh, enough.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm looking around, and I'm about ready to shit my bitches.
Well, yeah. When I see the Grim Reaper, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then things started morphing into it. And then people that were probably just normal people were the Grim Reapers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming at me whenever I would turn my back on it. So I was going in circles because I was like, fuck that shit. You're not getting me, you fucker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And no matter where I looked, he was right there. And I'm sitting there like, dude, what the hell? You're going to get your ass kicked if you don't tell me what the hell's going on. And he sits there and he goes, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, he's like, you're not fighting the flesh there, buddy.
Yeah,
Same
right.
time you are. So I was like, this drug is like a double-edged sword.
And I was just out of it. And for the longest time, like I said, I would just start seeing him. And every time I grew, like a year later, when I grew up, he would grow up. He'd be bigger, more stout, more everything. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And I'm going, dude, I need to do drugs or stop drugs.
Or take a fucking downer to fucking counterbalance this shit or something.
So, yeah, something needed to be knocking my happy ass out. And I'm just like, what the hell? And all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of the woods. I am logging, and all of a sudden, this face comes up out of the deal around the tree. And he was just watching me. I'm trying to cut down the tree, and I'm looking, and there's this face. I mean, just right here. I'm going, hello? What the fuck? Nothing.
I started tripping out on myself. Like, I started tripping out on myself, and then spirits are tripping out on me, and then I'm tripping out on the spirits, and then I'm fucking tripping out about the voice going through my head, and I'm like, how come I can read the comments, hear them talking, and hear the fucking voices in my head all at the fucking same time, and then I'm going through like a Jamaat, and I'm like, this is way too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like too much info coming in all at one time, and like, this is fucking intense. People don't understand what that's like, right? Hearing different conversations and everything all at once, it's like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
It's like an intense overload, but at the same time, it's kind of an amazing experience because it's like, how the fuck is it's almost like to coin, I guess, Jessa Reed, the meth pea, the comedian who was talking about drinking her meth pea and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
She was what did she say? Like when your brain is firing off at full meth capacity or whatever, because it's like it's like your brain's open to everything or something, right?
Sensory overload.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of people can't handle. Is when there's sensory overloads and your brain is firing on every cylinder and you're awake to everything.
Even the delusions, like the things that are crystal clear, like you can see it, but then there's also the delusions like layered over top of it, and it's like the audible hallucinations. Like, what the fuck? The fucking universe making it would make the fucking fence, the door in the fence. The wind would blow and like the squeak, and, like the birds calling me tweaker, and like just the squeak tweak sound would show up every time now.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, this is spirit, like the universe fucking with me for continuing a process from a lesson I've already learned, and I keep stubbornly, it's fucked up. He's like when I heard that voice, oh, why'd you open the portal again? It was almost like the lesson has been learned, man. Close the fucking portal and like shut it down, but it's one of those things. Like you, I've been doing it since I was young, and I've done so many drugs that I went from like doing 13 or more drugs at one time after building a tolerance to like, just being on weed, alcohol, and of course, big time the speed, right? And then I got into the Robitussin, and that was more of an experimental thing, but.
Yeah, I found out that man-made drugs was a hard thing to kick.
Yeah, it's almost like they take the plant and they jack it up. Like they jack it up to a proportion where it's like an overkill type of
Oh yeah.
Thing.
First time I ever took peyote, man, that was a trip and a half.
That's actual good medicine, though.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely something I want to experience at least once in my life, for sure.
When I was on acid, I had this, how can you say, I had this interesting jogging buddy. First time I ever done a large amount of acid and drinking at the same time. I'm walking home in the middle of BFE nowhere. At the end of the road, there's light from the freeway. You know how they got the lights going up, for the signs and stuff like that. It says whatever freeway or whatever road or town or whatever. To me, it looked like a big, huge Christmas tree that's lit up in reverse. Instead of a Christmas tree itself lit up, everything out away from it was lit up. And I'm tripping on that. I'm sitting there, I'm doing a lot of acid, and it's like, whoa. And all of a sudden, I see this stream of almost like a dull neon greenish yellow color just fly right by me. And I'm going, what the hell? And it's like, several times, this dude's just flying. And I look, just like, what the fuck? And I look, and it's just got two small slits for a nose, small slit for mouth, and small beady eyes. And it looked right at me to me, it seemed like 10 minutes.
Yeah, everything seems like forever on that stuff, though.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And then I'm looking away, and I'm sitting there like freaked out. I was like, man, what the? And he's gone again. And in order to pass me on the road, you would have had to travel 5 miles either direction. And that's long distance for walking.
Especially on acid, because acid, I remember walking a freaking 3-story building, and we felt like we were just kept going and going up a tower, and we're like, holy fuck, man. I felt like we were like a fucking CN Tower or something, and we got up to the apartment, and we're like, holy fuck, man. I'm like, yeah, it was really good acid. So I wanted to get clean acid. I wanted to make sure it was strong. Like take one to feel it, and then take two to be on a trip. And I'm like, holy fucking yeah. Ended up in the fucking hospital. Fucking my mom came home. I'm all fucking naked and shit. My girlfriend's sitting there like all fucked up. My cat's fucking jumped out the window. I'm fucking strapped down, fucking thinking that I'm Jesus being fucking crucified on a fucking wake up in the fucking hospital and shit. Oh my lord, it was fucking nuts. Like it was fun. Like it had good elements to it, but then it ended up in like a nightmare trip.
Yo.
And then of course I get out of the hospital, I go home, I fucking grab the fucking strip out of the fucking drawer and I fucking take more. I'm like, what a fucking guy. She's like, you didn't take more than you. I'm like, yeah.
Yo. Yeah, it was tweaked out, you know, and hey, Truth, how you doing, brother? Yeah, I am glad, you know, like I said, when I did the acid, and that was the first time that I had done so many at one time with a large amount of alcohol. I had to walk middle of the night, middle of BFE nowhere.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm like, fuck, man.
That's only on Sunday, and that's twice, once for good measure.
When I start getting paranoid, like I'm like, fuck, man. Look at everything's watching me. The fucking
Yep.
There's a guy parked down the fucking thing. It's like weird. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Things that come through your head and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, can't the fucking man just tweak and wait in peace here? Like, come on.
Ladies' best view.
I'm more like, stop looking at me. Fuck. Fuck off, spirit. Stop looking at me. No, it's fucking hilarious, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking funny. I don't know. I've always fucking kind of like. No, I've never really kind of needed like a big group of friends and shit like that because I just I'm kind of just on my own kind of like solo fucking mission kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like I like to have fucking certain people I can connect with at least because I
yeah.
I was in isolation even before the fucking whole fucking quarantine and shit, so I was already going fucking crazy. You need to go fucking socialize.
Yeah, I learned young. I don't trust people.
No, I have bad trust issues, right? Really bad trust issues.
My circle's small. You know, even here on the internet thing, my circle is very small because I look back and I see the real people for who they are.
2020 did that too. It really showed. It really showed who fucking your real friends were, and all that kind of stuff.
You know.
And plus, I was doing the mess, so it was kind of like one of those things where I was parting like from my family in it, like in a sense, like it was like. This is what happens if you keep doing this, Joey. And then eventually it got to the point where, okay, I need to make things right, at least with my family. And I can't be all delusional in my head like this because I can't be accusing people of something that's a delusion in my head. And if it is fucking real, then I'm the kind of person I like to stand my ground and like face whatever fucking problems are coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to face reality whether you're high or not.
Yep. Yeah, and sometimes reality is not as cracked up to be.
No, it isn't. But yeah, do you think the speed had a number on your heart, like when it came to like that particular drug? like on your heart condition and stuff?
Well, unfortunately, heart disease runs on both sides of the family. And my brother has worse heart than I got. Morning, Jamin, brother. How you doing, man?
No, man, I can't find my fucking lighter. I really need some herb.
Man, you're up early.
How many hours of sleep have I got? 4 hours the other night, I think.
Yeah.
I think I gotta do that later on tomorrow. After I get some rest, I could go in the woods and just chill out there.
Mhm.
Because that's really therapeutic, eh? Going to the park and like just chilling out with the animals. Man, like, oh man.
Yeah, yeah. For me, being out in the middle of the woods is the most serene place I could ever be. I'm never alone. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, that face, I mean, it was just like looking at me, it's like, what the hell? And I mean, it literally was like almost kissing distance, and the tree was huge.
Well, it's fucking the trees are like, from what I know, like they listen to what's going on and they're actually kind of like a record keepers. Like they're of
Oh,
course they
yeah.
have air and shit like that, but like yeah, trees are definitely.
Well, my grandma told me, when I talked to her about it, she told me that the spirits are watching.
Oh fuck yeah!
And that's when I started getting in touch with my native heritage. They're sitting there saying, oh, well, this, this is what it is. And I mean, I was freaked out. I was just like crying my ass off. And grandma sat there, she goes, no, they're listening. They're talking to you. Open up your ears. Now, how did I do that? And grandpa comes up behind me, smacks me at both ears, and he sits there, goes, can you hear me now, you bitch? It was like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, it's like, He goes, don't worry. Your ears are open now, dipshit. And he sits there, smacks me on the back of the head, and he goes, now go back out in the woods. And it freaked me out. I mean, literally freaked me out for a while seeing that.
Yeah, after a while, you kind of get used to seeing strange, odd stuff like that, or having like anomalies or strange, like supernatural occurrences happen. Like especially when you're taking a psychedelic or some sort of drug.
Oh yeah, yeah. If my grandma knew that I was on drugs, it would have killed her.
Yeah, like I know, like the Chiefs and stuff like that. They're big time against that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Especially the alcohol. They're really big on.
Oh yeah. Years later, it finally came out that I was given drugs at a young age. And also came out that as being abused, that's why I was in and out of foster care and stuff like that. And when I was with grandma, I could not be anywhere near my family if they came up. I literally had to become a ghost at this point. And it was bad, and so I had to hide it, and being out in the woods, that was my serene place. That was my peace.
See there, you can knock at the door. You hear that? See, to me, that's Yeah. Done. He knocked at me. He started fucking tweaking the woods and shit like that. There's already fucking eyes on the door looking at me. I don't need this shit right now. I
Yeah.
fucking calm down and go see fucking my life. I want to go back to that fucking shit. Oh, it's fucking funny, but especially when I go on fucking Dolo's channel, he's fucking just, oh man. Because he's one of those channels too where he's got a good energy, and then he it calms me down. And I'm not, I'm not all fucking suspicious. Everything's the fucking ducks part of it. It turns into really weird, bizarre instances. Because to me, it's like, I feel like it's experiences that a lot of people don't get to experience. So it's really hard to describe or talk about it because people just look at it like this is fucking just.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this kind of thing, right? Especially if you see somebody on something and they're like, well, why would I want to do that? They're on the floor, whatever the heck, right? But to the observer, that's what it looks like. But they're going through, some people are going through a really profound experience and shit like that. But you can't really explain that to somebody that doesn't take drugs or won't even consider acknowledging, putting themselves in their shoes to,
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard, especially when you can see their demons, that they're fighting. And you're sitting there, you're trying to do what you can, but you're like, how? Because the demons you're fighting are
your own.
Hey, I'm taking notes over here, little dude. We're going to experience that one time or another. And it's like, man, no.
No, please leave me alone. I didn't mean to. Get away from me. Just shit like that. It's like, fuck.
Yep.
And at the same time, I know it kind of has a humor to it. There's times where it'll teach you a harsh lesson and scare the shit out of you, but at the same time, it'll be humorous. The whole squeak thing, I was like, oh my fucking god, man. Cheeseburgers, fucking squeaks. I'm like, oh my fucking god, the fucking wheels are doing it. I get the bus, and for whatever reason, of course, there's somebody with a fucking brake pad that's fucking off, and they fucking stop at the light and squeak. I'm like, you fuckers. No more. Okay, squeak.
Hey, Misfit, how you doing, sweetheart?
Misfit Mafia Queen, eh?
Yeah, she is a sweetheart and a half. She's got a great channel. So is Jamin. What's Truth? They all got good channels.
I was getting paranoid, fucking subscribing, unsubscribing, subscribe, unsubscribe that okay, so we're up. Okay, it's fine. You're tripping. And then I was also trying to see whose channels I resonate with and then whose I don't. Stuff like that, right? Fuck.
I cannot count how many times I've unsubscribed to myself. Then I went behind myself while I wasn't looking and subscribed back to myself.
Did you go back at the same time? Did you go black, come back?
Yeah.
Again, just to make sure type shit. I'm like, oh man, what the fuck's going on? That's not a color. That's a fucking thing. I don't know. When you start seeing colors that don't exist in this reality, that's when you're like, well, fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My favorite thing was the shapes, the sacred geometry, the sacred mathematical geometry that you'd see in some of the trips. And just watching the flowers grow out of the picture, it looked like they're blowing in the wind and growing.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yep.
I'm just sitting there looking at that. I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck, I'm tripping out on the flowers. My fucking girlfriend's fucking tripping in the room. Fucking, she can, I don't know, she can handle it better for whatever reason. I don't know. She's just looking at me. I'm like a fucking.
I thought I was tripping out hardcore. I mean, I'm in this bathroom, all solid one color tiles. And then I come up and there's one different color tile. It was like a creamy yellow. Everything else was like a light brown. I'm sitting there, I'm freaking out. It's like, wow, cool.
Is it breathing?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. It's like, wow. And I'm just looking at, different angles and stuff like that. And the dude goes, yeah, it's an odd color tile, don't you think? What the hell? And I turn around, there's this dude using a urinal. He goes, yeah, that's kind of an odd color for a towel, don't you think? I say, you can see it? He goes, yeah. It's like, fuck, that was disappointing. I thought it was actually cool. I mean, it was like, hey, here
Well,
you
yeah,
go.
I thought it was like it was beautiful. Like I thought it was beautiful. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
Hmm?
Like I never knew I could have so much fun looking at the fucking patterns of the tile on the floor. Like,
Yep.
oh, this is great. Then you go outside and you're like, holy fucking! Like I should have went outside actually, because I started feeling I was being confined inside of a cube.
Mm.
Look in the corner. There's like a palm tree. I felt like I was on fucking like an island or an oasis or something, and then
Yep.
just kind of went downhill from there. She comes in, she's like, put on your shorts and you're like, your pants like a big boy now. I look at the poster in the corner. I'm like, is it gonna be like Grand Theft Auto? She's like, look at it. I'm like, no, man. Like I was not even. I thought it was dying, and well, not really dying, but then once they strapped me down, I was like, that's when I really started going into the bad trip, right? Because you don't understand, like it kind of. Acid's one of those things where you want to be free, and like if you got somebody sitting there like judging, they look all fucked up. It's almost like it kind of adds fuel to the fire, right? And if somebody they don't realize that what they're doing is making the situation worse. Like you can't really. It's almost like a shaman being with like a trip sitter, like somebody there with them, to kind of like guide them through it, right? Oh man. No, but I usually do it by myself. I like to do it by myself if I do it.
I was sitting with the buddy, did acid for the first time, and I didn't know he did it until after I started seeing the signs. And I sat there, and at first I started messing with him, in a good way. I wasn't severely screwing with him.
Yeah, like I wasn't addicted to that stuff at all. Like I don't really do it often. And when I do, I enjoy the experience, right?
Yeah. I was sitting there, I was putting things in his head, when I started seeing, like the signs and stuff like that. And he was just like this.
Fucking pulling invisible spider webs off of him.
I'm sitting there, it's like, dude, what the hell is it? And he's trying to touch something. It's like, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, oh, dude, this is this. Whoa. It's like, what are you tripping on? And he goes,
I don't know what you're talking about. No idea, bro.
It's like a vein right here, and it's just breathing. This is like boom, boom.
Cobwebs, bro.
It's almost like my heart. And I go, what? That's a crack in the wall. The man there, he goes, no, man, that's breathing. It's like, all right. It's like, oh, did you say you feel the blood? Yeah, man. And it's like, it's coming out there. He starts ducking and stuff like that. He goes, no, it's cool. And I go, you're looking into yourself. And he sat there. He goes, no. And I go, nah, it's only spaghetti. It ain't gonna hurt you. And he goes, spaghetti, and he starts going up there and he starts licking the wall.
Yeah, that's why they used it for the mind control. I'm like, they got to give it such a bad fucking reputation too, right? Because they're like people in a clinical setting utilizing it as a fucking weapon, of course, like they do with like pretty much everything, right? I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
they're like, that's it. They don't do this and that. And like I took it, I was like, that was pretty profound. It was, to me, it was worth the experience. Way more worth than meth and shit like that, right?
Oh yeah.
And then shrooms, those will really. I remember just barely getting to the room as it was hitting me really hard, and fucking I barely got to the fucking bed, and I had like the bottle of water and shit like that, and I laid down, and like the shrooms were just like lay down and fucking relax kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sat there and did shroom tea just before going to school, junior high. Man, first time I ever did that, I should never. I found myself laying in the floor, feet up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like Mother Nature, like what the fuck was it? It'll like, to me, mushrooms are like nature's way of like curing you. Like I think the bad trips are just as meaningful as the good trips because it'll show you what you're hiding, like what you're running away from, or aspects of your ego that like it'll put your ego in check for sure. That stuff.
Oh yeah.
Whereas the fucking speed will fucking bring your ego
the
fuck out, like in a really bad way.
Yeah, I know. I had a bad trip. It almost ended my life until a lady came up. She sat there and she started talking with me. And I'm sitting there just looking at her, it's like, okay, what do I do? I was like that virgin getting ready to get laid for the first time. It's like, okay, what do I do? It's like, get excited, and it's like,
okay. Well, you're like, I don't want to fucking,
yeah,
fucking be horrible at this, right? Kind of thing. Of course, right?
Yeah, and she's not even looking at me. She's sitting just right next to me and stuff like that. She's like this. And I started following the conversation. And I didn't know if she was talking to me or who. And all of a sudden, it's just like, man, this is real weird. This is real weird. Wow, man, this is just.
After a while, I'm like, fuck, this is what I think is weird. Other people, what I don't think is weird anymore is what people think is that's fucking weird. That's like
Yep.
Fucking things and experiences I fucking seen. Because I've seen some shit where you're just like, holy fuck, man, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on here? They're like, oh, you need to go and isolate yourself and self-reflect. I'm like, do you know how much fucking time I spend by myself and self-reflect? I'm like, I don't think so.
Yep.
Are you talking to me like you know me better than I know myself or something? I don't know. Kind of funny, but yeah, fucking lately it's just been trying to get myself out of the drug spiral, and then also fix up some things with like relationships with people and not going on to those fucking panel or fucking whackers and shit. I'm like, no apparel when you're tweaking, and then don't, and then and you're like, oh fuck, just one life. And then why the fuck is this fucking life showing up? And you're like, it's fucking, it's like enough. Like, okay.
Yeah. When you start feeling bad, just remember this. The best view a lady could ever have.
My like fuck, it's kind of perfect because I'm like a fucking owl, right? Like the night owl.
Mhm.
Because it was December is like the owl. I don't remember the whole wheel. I'm like, that's fucking perfect because I'm an owl. I'm fucking up all the time. My fucking eyes are all like this and shit. And it's like fucking.
Mhm.
But owls need.
Yeah, owls are very smart. They're very highly intelligent. I do animal spirit guides. I
Yeah, the
sit
totems.
there and I'll break down your spirit guide, what it means, the strengths, the weaknesses of them. I'll go down and I'll break it down each animal you have and all that.
Yeah, because I don't have them memorized, but if I keep seeing an animal over and over again, I'll check up the animal totem.
Mm,
And sometimes it's like a theme. I'll see a certain animal and I'll just
mm,
look it up. I'm kind of have a hard time memorizing everything because I'm kind of just all over the place with
mm,
information overload, right? I'm like, you can't possibly remember all that. But yeah, I just usually get the overall meaning and then I just kind of just go with that, right? Because for me, I think it was my first word was actually duck,
mm,
which is interesting. But yeah, for me, it started with the robins. It was like they were following me around and stuff like that. I would see them like hop in front of me, and just like everywhere I go, it's like they're looking at me. I'm like, okay, what the heck? I went from the robins uh, to, of course, the chickadees,
mm.
the cheeseburger or whatever, and then of course me tweaking out and them coming to my window after being out for 5 days, calling me a tweaker and shit like that, and it just
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna explain this to people? I called the girl at the fucking, oh, if you never need help, call here 24/7, right? I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I phone her. She's almost like she can't even fucking like really even respond to the shit I'm saying because she doesn't experience hasn't experienced. I'm like, well, how the fuck are you guys gonna help me if you can't even really relate to like what I'm talking about, right? I'm just like, fuck, maybe I should work for these people. Because I thought about getting into that, like a counselor or somebody that can help people with mental issues and addictions and helping them guide them through it and making them not feel like a piece of shit I already know how people stereotype and stigmatize
Mm,
youth. Like I don't like doing that. I like to fucking at least treat them like a fucking human being, you know. But yeah, I do get it though, because like a lot of people are just they'll do anything just to get a fucking hit, right? It's like fuck. Like that to me, I don't really accept that type of behavior. Just because you're dope sick it doesn't make it an excuse for you to fucking scheme and fucking steal and scam and shit, right?
mm.
But
One good thing is one thing. Well, one thing that I learned throughout the years was those that are able to help others with addictions or whatever. The best ones to help are the ones that's already been through it.
yeah, because if you don't have the experience, how the heck are you ever going to be able to be relatable or
Yeah, because if you go in and you're trying to get help, but the person does not know whatsoever the fate of it, the
the experience?
experience of it, the downfalls, upsides of it. It's just like sitting there and listening to a robot. I mean, you're trying to get better, but the guy's sitting there like,
Plus, they just focus on the negative side of a drug.
yeah,
They never focus on anything of a positive. They always look at the
mhm,
worst case scenario. They never look into like the people that like all walks of life do
mhm.
drugs and stuff like that. And there are some people that can handle it really well, depending on what it is that they're doing.
Oh yeah, 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 and brain just went. Um, to put a person down to make them feel worse when they're trying to get help
It
is worse. I mean, that is like a huge slap in the face to the person because you're in there trying to get help. You're trying to feel better about yourself, but yet all that's being focused on is, oh, well, you're a mistake, you're this, da da da. And it pisses me off to no end when I hear people sit there and
they
put
talk
you
about
down.
experience they don't even know. It's like,
Yeah. And they put you down because you're on drugs, but yet they don't see the good things that you've done, the clean, I mean, we all fall
I've
back.
done
We
good
all
things
fall
while I was
short.
high on drugs too, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm actually usually more generous like when I'm high. Like of course after a certain point I start going retarded.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I've helped a lot of people, fucking like even with a little bit I have, like like help, like just like buying them a sub or whatever, $5, or even just helping them like smoke whatever, smoke a bowl with them or whatever the heck, right? I don't know, and like it's just like kind acts of like small acts of kindness. Like a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go on public display, like kind of, kind of like to try to whatever. Like I'd much rather just kind of be behind the scenes doing it because it's I don't know. Because you already know, like with the whole squeaky clean type of an image where they'll, do the charities and da, da, da. And it's like, yeah, usually sometimes the people that are like the nicest and kindest
Mm-hmm.
are actually the ones with the most skeletons in the closet because they're using a lot of things as a front to try to cover up what the fuck's going on behind the scenes, right?
I walked into one of the biggest televangelist preachers' church, and in the door it says, when you first come in, it says House of God. And I'm walking in there, it's like, okay. Now I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking around. I'm like, House of God, huh? There he
As far as
goes,
I
yeah,
know, the
this is
best
House
church
of
is also.
God. Uh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
What's that?
I said, as far as I'm concerned, the best church is actually outdoors, like in nature, right? Like to me,
Mm,
that's more of like a.
yeah, and I'm walking in, like I said, I'm supposed to be there. And I'm looking around, it's like, House of God, huh? Lady goes, yeah, this is House of God. And it's like, where is he? She goes, well, God, you can't really see him. It's like, no, but you can feel him. And I go, this is not the house of God. And I look, this lady comes out the door, and I sit there and I look at her and it's like, she's dancing with the devil and walking with God at the same time. And I go, I'm looking at these people and I can tell exactly what they are.
Hmm.
And I'm sitting there like, man, this is just fake as fake could get.
Faker than a blue-eyed cracker on a crucifix.
Man, I was just floored. And it's
Like
like,
there are good aspects to the Bible and like religion, like some of the messages and stuff like that. But I feel like what happened is, of course, it got hijacked, and then they started utilizing it as a tool to, like, to me, it's a book of Jewish mysticism with allegories and parables,
mm,
all that kind of stuff. And it's not really supposed to be taken literally. Like, and that's what a lot of people do. They take it literally, and they don't really know how to decipher or interpret it.
you know,
And they don't really take other people's cultures or spirituality and religions into account, right?
mm,
They kind of focus on like, yeah, it's just, to me, it's, we already know about the churches and shit like that and how the fuck
mm.
that runs and what they did to the fucking indigenous people and like cutting their hair off and putting babies in the oven and all kinds of shit. It's fucking just disgusting. Fucking
Oh
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fucked up, man.
Yep. That's one reason why I tell people I'm not religious.
No.
I'm spiritual. My church is wherever I'm at. I don't need to go into a multi-million-dollar establishment to hear some dude or some chick sit there and quote a book that's younger than the Great Spirits. You know, and they bastardized the book to use it more of a weapon instead of a tool to help others grow, to help others sit there and enlighten them. You know, and most of them are just in it for the money. They're in there for the emotions.
Like scheme, scam, brainwash, of course, a lot of them. Like there's
Yep.
very few that I've met that like shoved it or rammed it down my throat and were actually like, you know, like cool to talk to them. They weren't like, you're gonna go to hell and all this shit, and like putting you in like this fearful state. And that's the manipulation tactic, right? Fear is like the main one that they use. Like there's a difference between natural fear and then fear that's being imposed upon you. Right? And that's like fuck. Like, you still got some people walking around here with like the masks, like walking around all like this. I'm like, oh, buddy. I don't know. Like I just let them do their thing, but I just feel like you don't need the face saver. You don't need it anymore. I call it a face saver because it just.
Yep.
I didn't get sick. I didn't get sick like that. I got sick a couple times, but I think that it's just the flu, and then they labeled it COVID, and then they use it as an excuse for their eugenics program. But then again, I really don't know how many people actually got sick and how much of it was actually what people are saying it is, because you can go look into it, but how the fuck do you really even know? I'm not there with a microscope and shit like that looking for nanowatts or whatever the fuck, graphene or whatever the heck they're different things they're saying it is. But I kind of feel like after my mom took it, she was different after that. Like it just didn't seem like she was the same fucking person. Like, almost like the first one, it wasn't too bad because she didn't. I thought that we established that they're aware enough that I do enough research that it's probably not wise to take this. And then she took it and came home one day, and I was like, oh, you guys, oh shit, right? And then I felt a certain way about it. And then, yeah, after the fucking second one, like, she's like, I'm not getting any more after this kind of thing like that. And I just felt a certain way, like it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But I was really pissed off, and I was really fucking sad because I was like, you fucking killed my mom kind of thing. Like, that's what I felt. If not right away, like slowly or whatever the fuck. Or maybe it's just nothing, or probably just a flu shot, right? That's the thing. I don't know. It was really fucking psychologically fucked for all of us, right? Because it was just like a big giant. It was like, what is it? Buddy calls it the fucking needlecraft and shit like that. Like it was like basically like one of the fucking biggest fucking psychological operations that they did and pulled off and put fear into like everybody in like a really bad way. Fucking just like in the fucking, you know. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
They figure if they use fear, they can control us.
Yeah.
The more fear they impose on us.
False fears don't really work on me anymore. And real fears are the ones that you face, right? And then the fake ones, it's just like, oh, okay, well, fuck. A lot of this is fucking just fear tactics that don't work, and I can fucking see through it. So I'm like, even when I'm really fucked up, so I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Oh yeah. They find out who's the wolves and who's the sheep. You know, the sheeps are the ones that are going, okay, they're cowering down and stuff like that, and the wolves are sitting there going, okay, come on. Bring
like,
it.
Just wait. No, fuck. I'm fucking paranoid and shit. Like, wait till I tell Rob, you fuck. Like, you're all like, like on defense and shit, but then half of it's just like spirit. I don't know, fucking something. I don't know. It's just too much shit. Too much shit going on in my head. It's too much in the collective psyche of the fucking planet. The uncertainty of the technology going fucking crazy. Hey, I just got there's a knock there.
Yeah, I'm surprised my fridge hasn't done that to me. Normally, by now, the fridge will sit there and they'll pop.
Yeah, like popping sounds and shit.
It's like,
or knocking on like windows, fucking.
Yeah. Drives me nuts every now and then.
I don't know. I get into like the gematria and all the different aspects of it. Plus, like, just all the different cultures and all the different, like, I don't judge like Native Irish, whatever. And I just try to like put all the pieces together. And I'm like, well, this is fucking interesting. Because it's, I don't know, like it trips me the fuck out because when you get a broad perspective on things and you can see things and understand things that most people in the general public don't get, it kind of puts you in a really weird headspace. And like, some of these things, maybe I shouldn't be saying these, some of this knowledge. And I started realizing maybe there are reasons why there are fucking things, certain knowledges that are kept secret, right? There's like voices, the one voice, it was like, some of the knowledge that you're talking about shouldn't be fucking being told at this time. Like certain people just aren't ready to hear or have you explain it. So you explain it would come off in a way where people would just, it would word it wrong and it would stuff like that. And I think that happened for a reason because it wasn't really meant to be. Like sometimes some of the things that you have, the visions and stuff, are only like they're just for you. They're not really for anybody else, right? But I gotta head out because I gotta get some rest and shit.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna head out too. I'm gonna get some supper and smoke me a few bowls to relax and just kind of meditate for a little while. And it's definitely a good experience, and I'm glad to have you on the panel. And you're welcome anytime to come on up. Good.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you soon, eh?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, eh?
Yeah. I'm always here if you need me.
All right, peace.
First day, Kalahane, Chashan, Nikwe, Mahai, Nihitchmo, Kawaye. May your heart be strong. May your day be bright. May your path always be an adventure.
Right on, man. Peace.
Well, with that, I'm going to cut this short. It's been a long time and great to have you up here, Cedric. It's always good to have good change, good people up here. We love it. And does my heart good to see y'all happy. Does not matter what cut you've got on, what you ride. It's just the fact that you're out there on your 2s or 3s. Except for those ugly Can-Am things, those are snowmobiles with birth defect. But you're out there enjoying life, you're free, you're happy. That's all that matters. I have my opinion on motorcycles, but your ride, you ride what you want that makes you happy. Like gets you out there on your 2s. Because that's an experience a lot don't get to do. But you got our support, you got our salute here 100%. It don't matter what branch of service you're in, you've got our support. Navy, Marines, Army, Coast Guard, National Guard, Air Force. Got our salute, got our love, got our respect here. Keep it real, keep it 100. I'll be back later on. I got something to do because I am a bit hungry.